What's up, everybody? So let's get into this Teen Mom 2 family reunion episode, which was a hot mess. Now, of course, this is the episode that we have all waited for, the long anticipated fight between Ashley and Brianna and the moms. And to be honest, it did not disappoint because we know that this fight was not scripted for reality TV. So that just makes it better. This ain't no love and hip hop shit. So if we're going to pick up where it left off last week, then it will leave off with T and Roxanne screaming at the table, pointing at each other, and Roxanne picking up a chair to fight, which she knew that security would stop. And somehow security and poor Larry had to separate the grandmas and finally got Roxanne, Brianna, and her crew in the house while T and Ashley were still outside, and they're both still screaming at each other about what happened and trying to prove their point. So Roxanne is in the house beating on the glass, and it's a whole bunch of "fuck you" and "you a bully" and blah 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 coming from Roxanne. And T is like, "You wouldn't let me talk, and you gonna tell me to shut the fuck up, and you." So everybody is still arguing just in their respected corners. And Kate's mom, which was a complete hoot the entire episode. Kate's mom, April, is outside giving Roxanne the bird, giving Brianna the bird, saying "fuck you" and just being drunk and on T's side. And Cheyenne makes a statement saying, "April is confusing me. When did she become ride or die for T?" Probably about the last 6-pack of beer. Like, this episode is so controversial because so many things happened that was explained on social media, and it was like it was playing out in front of my face. Like, everything that Ashley said pretty much happened. Everything that Ashley's mom said pretty much happened on TV, and I'm still waiting for the part where the other girls are like, "You guys gonna see it when it come out. Ashley was in the wrong." But you guys be the judge of that. It's very controversial. Everybody is talking about this episode. So T's outside saying that she never talks about anybody's kid and she would never go that far with the kids. So Kaya and Kaya's mom chime in and say, "That's a lie. That's not true. That's not true." And then they start doing their little spiel about the internet beef that they had, which is so played out. I feel like Kaya is not letting this go for whatever reason. So her and Ashley start to have a little conversation outside while T and Kaya's mom starts to have a conversation too. And nobody's really taking this serious. Everybody's pretty much bored of this conversation because Kaya's like, "I know you was talking about me on Instagram." And Ashley's like, "But it wasn't about you, babes." And Kaya was like, "Yes, it was." And I mean, how can you argue with somebody when you're trying to tell them that something isn't about them and they're still saying, "Well, I know it was about me." Yes, it was. Whether it was or whether it was not, either Ashley is telling the truth or Ashley is lying. You're not going to get anything out of Ashley besides, "I was not talking about you." So it's like, why do we keep pushing this issue? So then Amber jumps in and Amber's like, "Listen, y'all are fighting over really nothing." And Kaya's like, "Okay, but everybody on this Teen Mom cast be fighting. Don't act like I'm the only one that be fighting." And Amber's like, "Well, who said that? We're just saying that this ain't serious." And then Kaya brings up Farrah. It was like, "All of y'all was fighting with Farrah." And she's like, "Well, you cannot compare Ashley to Farrah." I wonder how they feel about that now. But Kaya gets emotional and starts crying because she says that she's trying to have this grown-up conversation with Ashley and she felt like they were making progress. However, Amber kept jumping in, and then Amber gets defensive and Kaya gets defensive, and then Kaya's mom tries to come over and be like, "Amber, don't take my daughter serious. She adores you." And Amber's like, "I can't tell, honey. I can't tell, baby." And I'm just like, why does Amber have this chip on her shoulders like she's the shit or something? Like, she was literally like, "Babes, well, if she likes me, then she needs to act like it." That's just kind of like the stank attitude vibe that I got from Amber. And I was like, ew, girl, like, you wouldn't be talking to my mama like that, for one. For two, my mama ain't finna come behind you and be like, "Amber, please, my daughter's just sensitive. She loves you." Who the fuck is Amber? Who the fuck is Amber? Anyway. Meanwhile, Kaya is still inside with Ashley having this conversation about some Instagram shit. And Kayla is there to either mediate or say, "Yeah, I got into a beef with Ashley too, and we squashed it, so maybe you should too." And Kaya is really not open to it. She's just like, it is what it is. We can be cordial for the time that we're here. So they seem to make up a little bit, but you can tell that Kaya was not there for it. And in her confessional, she was just like, "I knew it was fake, but I went along with it anyway," because she wanted to get the conversation over with. So what was all that crying for and like whatever? Kaya doesn't want to be friends with Ashley, so let's just move on. So then April tries to come up to Roxanne and apologize for earlier, which was literally like 10 minutes ago. She says that she didn't know that it was Roxanne and she just got carried away. And of course, Roxanne ain't trying to hear it because Roxanne mad for one. For two, you're drunk. Just get out of my face. We'll talk about it tomorrow. She's like, I got you, babes. Just go ahead. Honestly, producers should have told April to go sit down a long time ago or go lay down to her room, but they wanted to catch her and probably embarrass her for all of her reality TV gold that she gives them. So it seems like everything is quieting down and it's diffusing. And, the girls are having like a game night and everything seems chill and people are laughing and getting along. And it seems like Roxanne and T can be in the same room and pretty much ignore each other, right? Okay. So Kate's mom, April, starts going off because Larry finally came in and said, look, that's it. You've reached your alcohol limit. No more. So April and Larry start getting into it. And Larry's like, listen, I told you you had a limit. Everybody here has a limit. And when you exceed those drinks, we cut you off. She's like, what am I, 12 or something? Like, I'm going home. You can't tell me when to drink and when not to drink. Now, I don't know if every reality television have these kind of rules because I've seen Tommy from Love and Hip Hop get ass out drunk. But because of the substance abuse, maybe MTV be cutting down the alcohol limit. I know that they do on closed sets when they're like renting places, especially because remember David Eason, they cut his ass off and he went stabbing balloons. Like people get mad when they start drinking and you tell them they can't drink and they feel like a child. April's going around the house sticking up the middle finger. Her daughter's trying to calm her down. She's like, Mom. April's like, Mom, my ass. I want my drink. So everybody's laughing at April right now because she's a card, because she's drunk and she's mad. And, she's mad because everybody else has a drink and she doesn't. But who knows what the limit is with MTV, knowing that everybody suffers from some type of substance abuse, or at least that's what Dr. Drew said. So, child, the highlight of the show to me, the episode, was April giving the finger to the cameraman. Poor Larry, which is the producer, he was just outside looking defeated as hell. Like he's babysitting 20 some odd people. Can you imagine? They don't pay him enough. They don't. So Amber decides to take Kaya outside to tell her that she didn't mean any harm by what she said. She just heard that the conversation was going on in circles and circles and encouraging Kaya to be the better person, aka stop arguing over something so frivolous, because you'll spend, your entire life in therapy and trying to work through your issues if you let everything get to you. Just be the bigger person. So Kaya calls her big sister and they hug and make up and blah, blah, blah. So now let's get into where the fight is starting. So Brianna and her mom are in the kitchen. So Brianna and her mom are being assholes in said kitchen. They are giving Brianna was giving Ashley and T dirty looks, and Roxanne was staring up at Brianna and laughing hysterically these bitches is right behind us. And it was an awkward silence that they made awkward because they let it be known that, yeah, your presence is here and we're waiting for you to get whatever you got to get out of the kitchen and get the fuck out. So let's start right there. They made it awkward. So Roxanne decides to walk away and brush up against T. Now, she says she didn't do it. However, the MTV editing and production rewound this tape 3 times in this scene, and she definitely did push up against T. And T said, are you gonna say excuse me? If I know I got funk with somebody and I accidentally knock into them, it's not going to be no problem for me to say excuse me. Roxanne's like, lady, you're crazy. You're crazy. Hell no, I'm not going to say excuse me. Hell no, I'm not going to say excuse me. And literally, that's how it started. Just say excuse me. You knocked into the lady. I know you felt that. So Brianna jumps in and she tells T that it's not that serious. And T's like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk to your mama because I want to respect you. Roxanne's like, oh, now you want to respect my daughter. And T's like, you just knocked into me. Just say excuse me. She said it again. And Roxanne's like, no, I'm not. And no, I didn't knock into you. So that's when Ashley jumps in and was like, well, you did. You did, though. Roxanne rolls her eyes. Brianna's like, cut it out, Ashley. Don't say nothing to my mom. And Ashley's like, no, you cut it out. You cut it out. Because if y'all want to go toe to toe right now, we can. We can. Next thing I know, Brianna is standing up on this table, hovering over Ashley, saying, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Literally cussing her, calling her all kind of bitches. Ashley's like, get down and fight me one-on-one. What, you can't fight? You got to get on the table. She's like, no, because I'm going to kick you in your motherfucking throat. Okay. First of all, you wouldn't have got on this table hovering over me, talking down on me, pointing with your finger. And Brianna's also saying, suck my dick. All of this is coming out of her mouth. Suck my dick. Fuck you, bitch. Blah, blah, blah. And what I tried to tell people on social media was that when you tell somebody to suck your dick, imagine if she was a dude, if she was a guy. Saying those type of words get you shot in certain places, and nobody seems to know what I'm talking about. But even if you ain't from those places, you can watch a couple movies. As soon as suck my dick comes out of somebody's mouth, they get shot. Probably in the face. You don't say that to somebody, and that's her favorite line to say, that suck you dick is going to get you hurt, honestly. If you can't fight, don't talk shit, because you never know what the other person's going to do. And nowadays, as we've seen more often than we should have, it has ended up in deadly situations. So if you're not going to fight, try to de-escalate the situation as much as you can. Don't get on no counter and act like you big bad wolf, okay? So she did all that. She did all that, suck my dick and fuck you, bitch, and I'm going to kick you in your throat. That's when Ashley spit on her, and that's when all hell broke loose. And that's when Brianna tries to jump from the countertop where she has climbed above like the Hulk or Donkey Kong or something, and tries to get at Ashley. And of course she cannot. Everybody is holding her back. All types of security and stuff is holding her back. So when she does finally get down, she tries to throw a metal water bottle, which is something that Ashley said that she did months ago. And Ashley screaming, bitch, I spit on you. I spit on you the same way you said you were going to spit on somebody. And back in the day, during this whole lawsuit, Brianna said she was going to spit on Kale. So I guess that was a win-win for Ashley. To be honest, getting spit on is so disgusting, and it's downright one of the worst things that you can do. But in this situation where Ashley couldn't physically grab her because she climbed on top of a counter and hovered over her and was pointing her finger, and I'm all these bitches and I'm all these hoes and I'm suck your dick and stuff like that. You don't know what you're going to do in that situation where you're pretty much defenseless because security's on the ground and you can't get to somebody that's hovering over you. Like, Brianna could have easily jumped off that table and jumped onto that pregnant girl and started wailing her head in, because she has full advantage over her. Let's be honest. She has full advantage over Ashley in the situation where she is at now. And hey, it is what it is. Don't tell me to suck your dick, and I'm not too many bitches and hoes, and I'm not too much putting your finger all in my face. I'm not going to be too many of them. So honestly, Ashley did what she had to do. Do I feel like it was disgusting? Yes. Would I ever spit on nobody? Hell no, probably not. But I'm never going to be in a situation like this ever, because I don't hang with y'all. I don't hang with females like that. So at this point, it's a lot of commentary going back and forth. They're cussing each other out. They're trying to get at each other. T has a wine bottle she's swinging, and Roxanne has a water bottle, and she is wetting T up. And then Ashley is communicating threats towards Roxanne. That's when Brianna sets her off to another level. She's trying to get at Ashley. She's like, I will fuck you up. Don't talk to my mom, you pussy. And it's crazy trying to see these two girls get at each other, because we know that they never will. And poor Larry, he is exhausted. He comes back to the house like, oh my God, trying to separate these damn girls. So they finally separate them, and Ashley and her mom is outside. And Roxanne and Brianna are inside with the rest of the girls, and everybody sits down, and Kate is telling everybody that Ashley's pregnant. Now, this is what pissed me off, because honestly, like, come on, girl. So Kate makes up this lie and says that she sees a bump that she thinks is a bump in Ashley's clothes, but she doesn't know for sure. So she's telling Ashley that Ashley doesn't need to stress out and she doesn't need to fight because of the situation. Now, that's a lie, because Ashley told Kate that she was pregnant when she first got there. So then Kate says, is fake concerned about her. But then she goes in the house and starts gossiping about her to Jade. She tells Jade that she's pregnant, and then Jade, in fact, turns to Brianna and tells Brianna that she's pregnant. Then Brianna turns to her mom and tells her mom that Ashley's pregnant. And then Roxanne blurts it to everybody else in the damn house. Like, it was just messy as hell for Kate to go back and tell this girl personal business and then for it to be spread around the house like wildfire. Like, excuse you. So then everybody starts talking about the fact that she's pregnant and trying to fight, and everybody's disgusted all over again and blah, blah, blah. Literally, this time in the house, everybody has spent the next 20 or 30 minutes dissecting Ashley and figuring out that they don't like her. So I think Cheyenne made a statement that if she was Brianna, they still wouldn't be able to pull her off of Ashley's ass. And then Kaya made the same statement, like, she would be tearing Ashley limb from limb if Ashley had spit on her. And everybody's like, it's disgusting. And all the grandmas are like, that's just something you don't do. These new age girls don't know nothing about that. And Cheyenne's like, no, some of us know. You are never supposed to spit. So they're basically harping on the fact that Ashley spit on Brianna, and they're sweeping under the rug everything that Brianna did, such as climbing on the table, threatening to kick the girl in the neck, yada, 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 blah, 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 suck my dick. They're ignoring all of that and pretty much putting all the blame on Ashley. And Ashley's like, she don't give a fuck. Every time she see her, it's going to be on site. So everybody goes back to a hotel room because Larry, who's exhausted as hell by this point, comes back and tells everybody that they have to go to a hotel, Ashley and Brianna, and the grandmas, and they're upset they have to go. Everybody thinks that the other one is wrong, and Ashley's still talking shit and saying, she's lucky I didn't get her the way I wanted to. And it's just a hot mess. And I feel like MTV did all this for these piss poor ratings anyway. Yeah, the fight was pretty good, but they put everybody in the house for this fake ass healing retreat just so they could get Roxanne and T to fight anyway. And I would love to see the numbers after this fight because nothing else is going on. Those two families are going to be sent home, as we all know. And I don't think there's going to be much left for this retreat, okay? This is also when the MTV production decides to go on strike. So we'll see what happens next week, but it's probably going to be all downhill from here.